this have been holding really great, even though the data suggesting that we should go down, especially on the Bitcoin. But I'm not so sure what's gonna happen. Plus, we are into like the whole huge liquidity pool as well. I will talk about that. Let me just set this up. Let me just open some things in the backend. Yeah, yeah. I also want to talk about the privacy narrative. By the way, Arlik, what's up, man? I saw a lot of familiar faces. And mine, George. What's up, guys? What's up? Hope you guys are having a great day. Um, yeah, let's start with our Bitcoin, cute little Bitcoin. So there's a good news and there's a bad news. Which one do you want me to start with? The bad news is that we have now again entered into this Christmas range. If you guys remember this Christmas range, yeah, if you were active in last 10 days of the December, you would understand how painful this range was. So unfortunately, we have entered into the same range again. So there is a huge chance that price just does this for a good amount of time. So that is something I'm keeping an eye on. And in 90k and the value area low, both of these are extreme support and resistance. Extreme. When I say extreme, I really mean it. This is like 90k itself is extreme resistance, and if you flip this, then we have a clear 92k level for the short. And if you flip that, then I'm looking at 100k straight to the 100k. But I do not think so that's gonna happen, because we have turned the structure bearish. And if I go on a daily time frame, what do we see here is that our we have done a fake out of our range. This was our range, and you can see we have done a fake out of the range, and now we have came back again into the range. What I would love to see is a retest of 92k, and the reason for that, let's say, let me go in a more clear chart, so I can explain you the price action, then we can go into intraday plan. Even though I'm in Ethereum long and I'm also observing that, I will come to the Ethereum long, and I'm also going to show you some very interesting thing on the Ethereum and the Bitcoin, the relation. What's up, Sash? So stick to the stream. I'm gonna show you something really interesting. Privacy is an interesting narrative. Yes, sir. I'm also looking at the privacy narrative. So for the Bitcoin, our range. This was our range, right? This was our range. This was range high. This was range low. The price did a, you can say, fake out of a range high, and now we are back again into our range. The reason I'm looking at 92k retest, it is pretty simple. You can see we have a, this will be a bearish retest, and the price will just continue to go down, and it will trend down because we have turned a structure bearish. That's the first reasoning, that we have now turned the structure bearish. The second reasoning is that we have all this liquidity pending that needs to be swept. That's the second reasoning. And I'm let me just write this, okay? So is oh my god, man. Yeah. Liquidity, lick sweep. Oh my god, let me just, yeah, lick sweep, structure bearish. And the third thing which I'm talking about, and which I'm like really have been talking about on my X as well, is we have a potential AMD uh, into play. And I'm like really, now bullish. Like, how do I say this? I'm now really bullish on whatever, uh, on my this reasoning that now we are going to go down because we have a potential accumulation, manipulation, and the distribution in play. The reason is that we have now came below the 92k. That was like the biggest trigger for me to believe that the price will just go down from now here, because we have turned the structure bearish, and now we have given acceptance into a range, which is like a huge trigger for me to just believe that this AMD is in play, and then the price will now go down potentially to this. But I think we are going lower than this. We are going at least to the 74k or the 70k level, and the reasoning for that, we have a liquidity DC equal highs pending, which needs to be swapped. So that is right now, I'm on the higher time frame on the Bitcoin is believing. So we have three reason to have a bearish bias on the daily, on a 4 hour, on a weekly. So if you see me longing on intraday, it is basically pure reason for me to just catch this long into this 92k. I will take out I will not wait for a flip of 92K. I do not expect a flip of a 92K. I would be really surprised if we do flip the 92K. For me, it is just that we are going to do something like this, and this also creates inverse head and shoulders as well. So you can already see how bearish arguments are really strong. And if we talk about the bullish arguments, there are not just any. It is there's a liquidity that needs to be sweep. There is a AMD model that is in play. The structure is bearish. We are seeing a potential inverse head and shoulder. So I just do not see a reason for to be bullish on the Bitcoin. Now the thing that we can talk about how strong the 92K reason 92K level is, and should we be betting on this level? Of course, now we can talk about this, and I think that is worth talking about. So let's go. Let's talk about that. I mean, I'm just giving. Let me just remove this. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah. Shit. Let me just find a new chart, man. My charts are usually really messy. So now, if we talk about the 92K level, first of all, of course, we have a 92K level as a range high. So if we retest this, then it makes most sense to reject from here. We have a structure bearish. We have a we have a FVG that is aligning beautifully with our 92K level. So this is something I'm keeping an eye on. It is exactly on the 92K, but moreover, the level I'm looking at is 92K 500, and the reason for that is we have an inverse FVG, which like really excites me here. So we can even remove this if you want. So basically, we have a start of an inverse FVG at just a 92K. So for what I'm expecting is that what price can do is that price comes up, price does accumulation, we does a manipulation into this inverse FEG, and then we go down. That is something what I will be expecting to happen somewhere around at the 92K. The other confluences are the Fibonacci level. You can see it is perfectly aligning with the equilibrium, and if we wait for the manipulation, it can manipulate into the golden pocket. So that is something I'm looking at. The other thing why I think the 92K level is really strong, because we have a CME gap at 93 to 92 900. So that is what I'm saying, that we can potentially do accumulation at this FEG of this daily FEG, and then we can manipulate into filling the CME and tapping all this liquidity. And you can see CME perfectly aligns with this imbalance. So that is what I really like, because the exact CME ends at like 93K, and then you can see this exact FEG ends at like oh no. I'm looking at wrong. Sorry. My bad. I'm talking about this. So this end of this FEG actually, I got confused, lol. So end of this FEG aligns perfectly with our CME gap. So that would be my area to look for shorts. Overall, there are stacked. The confluences here are stacked. So that is basically my level to look for shorts. I don't know why started looking at this FEG. I think I confused it with something else. But yes, that is basically the level I'm looking at. I can even write it in the chat for you. But if price comes here, definitely be looking for shorts around here. And of course, we have an inverse higher time frame, inverse head and shoulder. So I'm a really big fan of this 92K level, and I will be just I would just love to long this. So let me just open this. Yeah, um, from 15th, I think it was. Yep, George. That's why I said to look at my 15th stream, because I gave a really good alpha there, and it is playing out really well. But I would just wait for price to go at 70K, 70K or moreover, uh, somewhere around 75K, so I can I have more confirmations to talk about this. I mean, I don't need to like go more into depth, because this will just bore people, because I've already talked about it. But you can already see how it's aligning beautifully, and now it just look from here we should just go down, and it is like there are a lot of similarities I can talk about right now, but I just that's not the agenda of this stream. Maybe we can cover it on the Monday stream if we do not have something to talk about. But right now, that's the level I'm looking at for the major shot. 92K, I will highly advise, do not fade this 92K level. 92K level, this 92K level is basically same as this 98K level. Unfortunately, we did not short this level, but if we get this 92K, you really want to look for shorts. Of course, after the confirmation, you do not want to place the limits. So that's it for the Bitcoin. For the shorts, I can go back to my original chart. Which chart is was this? So I remember this. It was a Bitfinex chart. Okay, so that is for the Bitcoin. We also have an NPOC. I just remember. You can see we have an NPOC here at the 93K, aligning with the CME gap. So I'm just really excited about this overall level, and I do think that this is a really good potential short. But the thing that we really need to keep in mind, if we do not fill up the 90K level, this can literally just go down as it is, because we are in a bearish structure. And keep in mind, if this is like a really good alpha that you can even use in your day-to-day trading. So let's say this is a Fibonacci and the price is like, in a downtrend. So if a price sometimes does not, what most people wait is that price will retrace to this discount area and then it will go down. But sometimes that doesn't even happen, and then we just do something like this, and then price continues to go in a downtrend, because there is just like a lot of selling happening, and the retest into the premium is like a really obvious short. I can even show you the examples. Like yeah, I can even I think, yeah, not this is not the best example. What about this? Yeah, that is not the best example, but I think this would be a good example, that you can see how price never even retraced to the premium areas. I'm sorry, the trading view just sometimes, yeah, you can see how price sometimes did not even retrace to the golden pocket area, and it started like going down. Not the greatest example, it just I would need to find examples, but it happens a lot of time on the chart, that price just does not respect the premium and the discount areas, and it just continues to go in a downtrend. I can like bet thousand of dollar with you that it happens on a lower time frame. So yeah. So right now, I would just love to see a retest of the 92K level. Otherwise, I'm uh, looking at lower pricing, somewhere around the weekly level. I think that is like a really next level for me to look for longs. So again, the game plan for the longs at the weekly level would be that we sweep all this liquidity, we tap into this value area. This is like a really strong value area, because this is a value area of this entire range. So this is indeed an really strong value area. So if the price comes down, what I will expect is that we accumulate at this, we sweep all this liquidity. You see, we sweep all this liquidity, we tap into this 4 hour imbalance, and then we go higher from there, potentially into the 92K, or just at the 90K, and then reject. So that would be the level I would love to play. I can just, so yeah, that would be the level I would love to play, and I do think this will have a really good potential of longs as well. Before that, at the intradays, I'm not like really interested into the longs, and because it is just I do not see any like if this is a 4 hour time frame, right? If you can show me some major confluences on this chart, I would love it. But like I don't see anything on this chart. It is just like it goes up like this, then it will just goes down just like this. So there are just not enough supports before the 87K level. So for me, it doesn't make sense to look for longs at the moment at where the price is right now, because we haven't sweep the major liquidity, we haven't tapped into this FEG. That is why I'm not looking at the longs at the Bitcoin. So that is it for the Bitcoin. A lot of people are looking to long from this inverse FEG, this inverse FEG, all the bullshit you want to say. But honestly, I do not think this of a really strong level. I just think from here it makes sense that we go down. I mean, you can argue that this is a potential AMD, right? You can argue that we can now distribute to the higher to the 92K, which makes sense. But again, from me to believe that we are going higher from here, I want a reclaim of the 90K. Before that, I'm not interested in longs at the Bitcoin. Now let's get to the Ethereum, which I wanted to talk about, that why I am longing the Ethereum if I'm not interested in a Bitcoin longs. Because the reason to look for the longs on the Ethereum is we have actually swept the liquidity on the Ethereum, which we are waiting to swept on the Bitcoin. So I can even open two charts at the same time, and I can even show you. Let me just open this, and if I go on a Bitcoin, yeah, we can open the Bitstamp chart. Uh, yeah, that is basically my original plan, so I'm not gonna touch it. Yeah, we can go here at the Binance chart. I do not really care about the Binance chart. Yeah, we just covered it, so I don't think so. Uh, We need to post it. Let me just also post this chart. Okay, I'm just dropping the charts in the chat so it's easier for you. Let me just whatever this. See USDT. Yeah, that is my chart. I like to use the Bybit. I think that's more accurate. But anyways, that's not the point of the convo right now. So you can see if we look at these lows and if we look at these lows, let me just use yeah, if you look at these lows, you can already see how we haven't swept these lows, but we have swept these lows. So it makes sense to look for longs on the Ethereum, because our idea to long on the Bitcoin is that we will sweep these lows and then we will tap into this FVG and then we will look to long. That's our idea, right? But if the same idea have happened on other asset, then why not long that asset? Because not just that we have swept the liquidity, we have also tapped into this 4-hour imbalance. So for me, and we have done SFP of this, so for me it just makes sense to look for longs in the Ethereum, and that is what I did. And I think Ethereum is looking way beautiful on the lower time frame structure wise as well, because if I go on a 15-minute time frame, yeah, yeah, sorry. So if I go on let me see if any questions. Okay, I go on a lower time frame. I don't know why it is not going on a lower time frame. I would need to go on a 5 minute. So yeah, that's the 5 minute of the Bitcoin, and that's the 5 minute of the Ethereum. You can already see how Ethereum is looking bullish comparative to other assets, because comparative to Bitcoin, because we have done a structure shift here, but there is no structure shift here on the Bitcoin. That is what a difference I'm looking at the Bitcoin compared to the Ethereum. That was the another reason which I looked which why I longed on the Ethereum, because we had this structure shift on the Ethereum, and we did not had this structure shift on any type of on the Bitcoin. So that was essentially the reason I was looking to long the Ethereum. Let me just go on a 1 minute time frame here. And if I go on a 1 minute time frame, you can already see that we were in a downtrend, and we did a structure shift here. You can see, and then we made an entry. If I draw Fibonacci from the lows, you can see we made an entry on a 0.705 level. But if I come on a but if I go on a 1 minute time frame on a Bitcoin. Let me just find this. Yeah, you can see there was no structure shift. We just did a liquidity sweep. So you can already see the difference of the strength in a Bitcoin and the Ethereum. That's why you can analyze which asset do you want to long. So not just that we haven't swept the major liquidity on the Bitcoin, we haven't even done a structure shift on a Bitcoin on a lower time frame. So I do not see a reason to long it. So that was essentially the whole reason I did not long Bitcoin, and I longed Ethereum, because it also had a good R comparative to the Bitcoin, because we have swept the majors level. So I hope this makes sense. That was the whole reasoning for the Ethereum long. I just wanted to share this with you, so you guys are up to date that why I am longing, why not long the Bitcoin, what are my thoughts on the Bitcoin, bearish on the Bitcoin, bullish on the Ethereum. You will, and for the weekly, if you look at the weekly time frame, I just cannot be bearish on the week on the Ethereum right now, because I mean, even though this structure looks bad, but if I draw Fibonacci from low to the high, you can see we have like beautifully retested the golden pocket. We are respecting the bullish TA. I like it. I very much like it. So definitely a fan of Ethereum rather than being a fan of Bitcoin right now. Bit for the Bitcoin shorts at the 92K. For the Ethereum, I haven't analyzed the Ethereum for the shorts, to be honest. I would just love to see this play out. I will make a plan. I can make a plan right now, but I don't think so. It is worth the time, because it will take just another 1 hour for me to make a plan on the Ethereum. But I will find a good short area for the Ethereum. But right now, I don't see anything good. I generally looking to TP somewhere around here and here, because we have an imbalance, and we also have a Christmas range resistance here at like 3,000. So, and also a psychological level, so makes sense. So that's it for the Ethereum. I'm looking to play this out to the higher level. I believe this will go higher. We have swept the FEG on the Ethereum as well. I'm really bullish on this setup. I would be really surprised if that doesn't work out, by the way. So let's see what happens. No, that is no, Sash. That basically no. Sometimes the Ethereum outperforms the Bitcoin, and this could be one of those moments because we have swept the major liquidity. I could be wrong, of course, but I'm not saying that Bitcoin will go down from here. But I will say that, let's say, even if a Bitcoin gives a move, I mean, it is at 89K. It is at a minor long POI, right? But even if it gives a move till 90K to sweep all these unswept highs, you can see these are unswept highs, right? So if a Bitcoin gives a move to sweep all these highs, Ethereum will likely give a twice as big move, and we can catch more R in Ethereum rather than in the Bitcoin. So that is basically the reason to short the Ethereum. And basically that's not true that some if Bitcoin doesn't move, the Ethereum doesn't move as well. Sometimes it does outperform the Bitcoin, such as the case of this Ethereum short, which I missed. It was around, I guess, 3434. I don't know which Ethereum, at what level it was, but there was a short level at Ethereum which I missed because I was waiting for higher level somewhere around at the NPOC, and Ethereum dumped, but the Bitcoin was pumping. So sometimes Ethereum does like move out its relation with the Bitcoin. So I'm not like really worried about if Bitcoin doesn't move, but I really want to be positioned on Ethereum right now. For now, ETH is how ETH is weaker. I just explained ETH is actually stronger. So no, ETH is actually stronger than the Bitcoin right now because we have swept the major lows, and the LTF structure is actually turned bullish on the Ethereum, but on the Bitcoin it is bearish. So you can see we haven't got any structure shift on the Bitcoin. So yeah, I don't know why would you say that Ethereum is weak, but I would say Bitcoin is weak right now. I will be observing. Let's see what happens. If it goes lower, then I might just close it at the retest of a break even, because I would just not like to this low to get you know lose. We do not want to lose this lows, because if this low is lost, there is nothing uh, holding Ethereum to go down. So this low is like everything right now. What we can do is that we can do SFP of this low to like shake out the bulls, and then we can go higher. So I'm not like not moving the stops to the BE right now, but I will be observing. So let's see what happens. But I do not want to give any. I mean, the current bounce on the LTF. Current bounce on the LTF. That is what I'm saying. We have a structure shift on the Bitcoin, Ethereum, but we do not have on a Bitcoin. So I like Ethereum on a lower time frame. That is exactly what I'm saying. Uh, you can see we have a structure shift here, but we do not have it on the Bitcoin. If I'm comparing the same price action, you can see we have a wick rather than a closing. So I would love to look long the Ethereum, and of course we have a higher time frame. We are in a higher time frame long POI, and not just that, we have swept the major liquidity. So I don't see a reason why I should not be looking to long Ethereum. Yeah, good for you, but I do not like to risk 2R in this market. I just think that one position at a time is fine. The only thing which I'm not liking right now is constant selling by the Coinbase. Like, you can even see, like, we did have a really good buying session, and I woke up and I saw this. Okay, I saw it. Okay, this good, but then it was followed by red and red and red and sells and sells and sells, and I do not like this on the Coinbase. So let's see what happens. Right now, I'm observing. I would just hope that I want to see a good bounce from here. I just do not want to see it consolidating or touching my break even, because like I would just not like to see it. But maybe we can shake out and then we can go higher. So that is why I'm not moving the stop loss at the break even. I will be observing. Let's see what happens. But definitely interested in longs in the Ethereum. But I will be observing. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Hope this makes sense. If any other questions, any altcoins you guys want me to analyze, we can go over it. Otherwise, we are good to end the stream. That is for Bitcoin and the Ethereum. For the Solana, don't even ask me. I'm not interested in Solana. To be honest, I didn't even look at the Solana. I just, nah, it is not giving me good vibes. If something is not giving me good vibes, I don't trade it. It is what it is. Just Solana price section is bad, man. Like, what even is this? I don't like it. Like even on a higher time frame, I think Solana still have a really long way to go down, and I'm really sad that I closed the short here. I think Sash, you took it right. I don't even ask me why I closed it. I just did, and yeah, that's what I say. The TA is the last thing you want to learn in the trading. It is more about your psychology and emotions rather than the instead of your TA. Anyone can teach you TA, but no one can teach you psychology. You got to learn it by losing money again and again. She was like, you can never do perfect entry. That's what I have learned. So I do not care about making a late entry. Uh, Most of the time, you never get a proper entry. I think we made it somewhere around here, right, or somewhere around here on a break of a structure. And my stop loss was actually above the high for the exact reason because I was expecting that we can retest this. We can retest this 30-minute FEG, and which we did. But I closed it because for me Bitcoin was looking bullish. But then this happened. Don't even ask me why this happened. I don't even know why this happened. Well, I mean, you can technically tell this was coming looking at how we were leaving the lows. And if you can go and watch my streams, like I have been saying this, I do not like these, how we are leaving the lows. I still do not like how we are leaving the lows. I think the ultimate target is still $119 and we will sweep all this. I do not, a price action like this is never healthy no matter how strong the coin is, even if it's SPX, it's Nasdaq. Leaving lows like this is generally never good, and you can see that's why there are heavy corrections appear in stock market to sweep the lows, and usually they're really sharper than how we go up. So if we are going up like this, then the dump happens like this, and then we go down, and then we continue. You can see this looks really similar to the SPX chart. So that's why you do not want to see coin going up like this with leaving the lows like this. And often will take out BE. Yes, yes, that what happens. They also hunt your break even. Usually, what happens is that I can tell you a trick. It is basically, let's say, if I go on Ethereum time frame, we are in Ethereum long, right? So you do not want to move stop loss to the break even right now because we have this small FVG. If I go on a 5 minute time frame, I pretty much believe, yeah, you can see we still have a bit of FVG that needs to get filled, right? We still have this FVG. So what they can do is that they can come down to sweep this. This will shake out the bulls that longed here, and then they will send it higher. So you want to move stop loss to the break even if there is no pending and resting liquidity at your entry. That's what happened at the Bitcoin in the morning as well when we got stopped out because there was this pending liquidity. They swept it and then they send it lower. So that's what they do. So you want to see that there should not be any pending liquidity at your entry, and then you're good to move the stop loss at the break even. Otherwise, you should just run it to the SL or the TP. I have been like being really careful because this price action of the January sash, that's really bad. So I just want to be careful. I'm just happy that I'm profitable overall. I think that's what it matters. Yeah, BDC short would have played out, yes, but I think it was worth moving the stop loss at the break even because we eventually the stop loss was hit if I haven't moved it at the break even. That's why I was being careful. I'm using Bluefin in the weeks, but is struggling with price difference. But do you know what price expression? I'm not really sure, George. What do you mean by Bluefin and weeks exchange? Because I do not use any of it. Neither do I recommend it. I mean, I know it to people who use it. For me personally, if you can use the Bybit and the Binance or Coinbase if you're from US, that should be your way to go. Bluefin and weeks, they're good. For the influencers, yeah, in the UK, I don't know if Binance and Bybit doesn't work. See which liquid, which exchange have the most liquidity and which works in your region. Maybe you can try looking at the Kraken. I don't know to be honest, but for me, from which region I am, I'm glad that I have Binance. I mean, even though people hate Binance, but you gotta know it have the most liquidity and it works the best. um, but yeah, I would not even advise the weeks to be honest. I mean, sure, maybe Blofin, but weeks is a heavy no. I don't even know what that exchange is. I saw many influencers using it to like fake their PNL, I guess. But for I'm not saying the weeks is a bad exchange. It is just if you want to trade on daily basis, I would just stick to the higher liquidity exchanges like Bybit and the Binance. For the UK, you can do some research. Especially you want to do the KYC exchanges, not the non KYC ones. So yeah, hope that helps. I trade on the platforms, by the way, George. So if I'm not giving you a satisfactory answer, that is probably because I do not trade on the exchange most of the times. I trade on the platform, hydro platform, and sometimes at the breakout. But breakout platform is so shit that half of the time it's not even active. So yeah, it is what it is. I have had a really good experience with the Bybit, so I'm fine. The problem with the Blowfin and Weeks is just these are low liquidity exchanges. I do not wanna. I do not wanna. You do not wanna like put a lot of dollars in there. Just be safe and have it on Bybit and the Binance, or trade on the platforms. That's what I suggest. Trade on the platform. They are the best. I mean, if you have a lesser capital than six figures or $50,000, I would just say I don't see a reason why would you trade on the exchange. Just use the platforms. They are much better. Yes, you will blow up the accounts, but if you know a good TA, if you know how to be profitable, you will blow you will over be profitable even after blowing up the account. Yes, the process is hectic, but trust me, it is worth it. When I say it is worth it, it is worth it. But yeah, let's see. I'm liking how we are looking to form a bottom. This is like really good. This is like a 30-minute level. I would not want this to lose, and I'm also liking how we are doing a closing. So let's say I am hoping this would go up. There's a lot of liquidity pending to be sweep. But yeah, I think that's it for the stream. Really appreciate you guys joining in. Sash, George, Haji Thakur, and Arlik, and Amine. Thank you guys for joining in. If any questions, ping me in the general chat, or if any small questions, just tag me. I will answer it here. Otherwise, we're good to end the stream, and I will keep you posted about the Ethereum in my channel. So yeah, hope this helps. Cheers, guys.